My channel. My name is Dylan James. Hi, cuties. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It's Tuesday. Before we get into today's video, remember that life is not happening to you, but happening through you. When you become the change you seek to experience, you're going to experience that change everywhere you go. You are showing the world how to treat you based on what you believe and feel about yourself, and you're creating your reality on a moment-to-moment basis, contingent on the meaning and the value that you assign to the things occurring around you. So today, I want to talk about what to do when you're getting triggered. And I think I've talked about this on my channel before, but I just feel like it's something that needs to be revisited as I've been like coaching people and hearing about some of the experiences that they're going through, and how to really approach creating these changes in your life in a sustainable way without avoiding what you're feeling, and also feeling confident within yourself to be able to create the results that you desire. So on my channel, the approach that I've really taken is, how can you simplify building your belief system in a way that is sustainable and doesn't become an all-day affair? And that's why I really enjoy using the nighttime affirmation tracks, because at nighttime you're asleep potentially for between 5 to 8 hours. Hopefully you're closer to the 7 to 8 hour mark than the 4 to 5 hour, right? But that's a lot of time where your mind is wide open. You can program it with new beliefs about yourself and beliefs about areas of your life, and you can create a lot of change at night, right? But how you're operating through the day is also important. And that's why on my channel, I've talked about nervous system regulation, doing short little meditations. I know I did a video about a year ago where I said the power of short meditations throughout the day. That was a really good video. If you want to check that out, if I can find it, I'll link it up here for you guys. But what you want to do is make sure that during the day, you're not still living as a version of yourself that you previously identified with. Okay, so the belief tracks at nighttime are good, because what happens when you're sleeping with those on is you start to break the train of thought. Okay, so you're starting to integrate new beliefs. But when you're awake, if you allow yourself to continue to materialize the same behaviors, or you're constantly in a state of worry, or you're constantly in a state of doubt, and you're reacting to your reality, that's not that desirable as well. Okay, so we got to do something about that. That's where stabilizing your nervous system is important, and also taking some time to reaffirm in your self-concept is good as well too. And when you really want to create this change, or when I've taken the approach of creating this change very quickly in my reality, what I would do is sleep with the belief tracks on and make sure I was doing breath work 2 to 3 times a day. And then right after the breath work, putting on a meditation or some meditation music and spending 5 to 10 minutes affirming in beliefs about myself and really building myself up, and then designing my day in a way that really nurtured a new feeling state. But let's talk about triggers and in the moment and how to deal with that, because sometimes you don't have the time to just like, oh, be right back, I'm going to go do some breath work. Okay. Like, I understand that sometimes you may just be like out in public or just interacting with somebody where socially it would be kind of odd or off for you to remove yourself in that moment, and it may create more awkwardness, or just an undesirable experience for you to just be like, oh, I got to go right now. Okay. And also, we don't want to, we want to be able to manage our life, right, in a way that is sustainable and, again, not awkward. So as I was saying earlier, the approach on my channel is to create this change in a way that's sustainable. We're all busy. We all have so many things that are going on in our life, and we don't have the time to be sitting here affirming all day long. So we want to do it in short, focused sessions that are impactful, that are sustainable. So that's why doing the breath work and the short meditation 2 to 3 times a day is going to give your mind a focus, if you're sleeping with the beliefs on at nighttime, to really integrate this. Now, in the moment when you're triggered, though, what should you do? Okay. And I'm going to go from an experience that I had a very long time ago at the beginning of my relationship and how I handled it. And it's funny to talk about this experience, but it is what it is. Like, you guys, I've gone through a lot of these things as well too. Everything that I talk about on my channel, I'm speaking from experience. So I remember at the beginning of my relationship, before even the commitment had come in, I was spending time with my partner, and they were on their phone. They weren't really paying attention to me, and it triggered me. And I remember that, like, I was like wondering, like, oh, who are they looking at? Who are they talking to? I was just being insecure. Okay. And in that moment, when I got triggered, my mind could have gone to a lot of very dark places, negative assumptions, things that were related to my old self-concept. that I could see now, I wasn't valuing myself or whatever it may be. But what I chose to do in that moment was, instead of identifying with the trigger or feeling intimidated by the way that I was feeling or feeling intimidated by what my partner was doing, I really looked at what was going on. And in that moment, instead of being like, wow, they're not giving me enough attention, or they're looking at other people, they're not interested in me, instead of creating this negative assumption and persisting in that, I realized I was being insecure. I wasn't feeling good enough. I wasn't feeling chosen. Okay. So in that moment, what I decided to do was, instead of identifying with the trigger and getting frustrated with them, I sat there and silently in my mind reaffirmed nope, I'm good enough. I'm chosen. I am secure within myself. I can't remember the exact three statements I did, but I reaffirmed that into myself. And I just looped that in my mind for about 5 or 10 minutes until I noticed that I wasn't triggered anymore. I wasn't feeling insecure anymore. I wasn't bothered by what they were doing. I wasn't worried about who they were talking to on their phone. I didn't care anymore. I assumed, I reminded myself, hey, this is who you are. This is going to be your experience. Don't worry about that. Okay. And right after that, once I was no longer triggered and I didn't care about, what they were doing on their phone, then I just remind myself, they really do care about me and they really do like me, and they do want me and only me. Okay. And it was a very light, like, not obsessive. I'm trying to convince myself about this about this person. It was just a reminder of like, hey, everything's okay. Everything's going to be fine. Now you're not triggered anymore. You address that belief, and I was able to let it go, move on, and it continued to enjoy my experience with them. And then it materialized even more, where they were giving me more attention and they were showing up in that way that I really love. Okay. So what's the point of the message that I'm saying here is, you don't want to be avoiding your triggers when you get triggered, and you don't want to have the false perception that as you're building your beliefs at nighttime and stabilizing your nervous system, that you're just going to be perfect. And when your person is around you, you're going to have this perfect perception where you're not triggered. There's going to be moments where they're going to show up, that's going to trigger you. You're going to see that your perception gets altered and you're going to want to react. And what you want to develop the ability to do is to not view the trigger or how you're feeling as though backward progress, like, oh, what I'm doing isn't working. Oh my gosh, why am I feeling this way? Look, this pattern's popping up again. You want to see it as a growth and evolution process, and just see, oh, okay, I'm feeling triggered right now. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I perceiving this way? What is the story that's going on here? And what belief is creating this story? Because if you can pull out of the trigger and reaffirm in your belief in that moment, just silently in your mind for about 5 to 10 minutes, you should notice that you come out of the triggered state, you stop reacting or caring about what's going on, your perception shifts, and then you're able to remind yourself of the story and what you're creating for your life. And you're able to drop this thing that could have potentially become a really big problem had you reacted to it, and continue to create the experience that you desire. Okay. So the reason why I'm saying this is, sometimes you're not going to have the time to, go do breath work or anything like that. And you also don't want to avoid how you're feeling. So if you're getting triggered by things in your reality, ask yourself why, and don't just persist in a new story. Really go down to the belief. Why is this triggering me? Why am I perceiving that this way? What about this is like, what about myself? What am I believing about myself that doesn't feel good, that is causing this to trigger me in this way? And if you can bring it down to your belief and silently in your mind reaffirm into yourself, no, I am good. No, I am worthy. No, I am secure. I am always able to create the solution. I always know my value, my worth. My value, my worth is always recognized. I'm always prioritized. I'm always loved. Instead of reacting to what you're perceiving and how you're getting triggered and what your person is doing, before you react, if you can soothe yourself and reaffirm in your beliefs, you should see that your perception shifts. You don't react, and you start responding and interacting in your reality through this new belief system, through this new self-concept, which allows for you to continue to create the experiences that you desire. Okay. So if you're getting triggered, don't view it as backward progress. Use your triggers as insight and as a ability or a moment for you to reaffirm in your self-image and the beliefs that you have been integrating. And if you can view it that way, you're going to work through your triggers a lot more quickly, and you're going to be able to sustain the results that you desire a lot more quickly. Don't view triggers as backward progress. View them at, like, if you're sleeping with the belief tracks on, you're doing the breath work, you're stabilizing your nervous system, you're building your beliefs each day, then view it as another opportunity to reaffirm in your beliefs and fully assume this new version of yourself that shows up in a new way and responds to your reality differently. And if you can view it that way, instead of backwards progress, oh my gosh, why am I feeling this way? Why am I getting triggered? I thought this should be done by now. If you can view it more as an opportunity to reaffirm in your self-concept, you're going to move through it a lot more quickly. Okay. So essentially what I want you to do is view everything as forward momentum progress. You're not going to be perfect. There's going to be moments when you get triggered, especially when your person is around you and you're working on your self-concept. They're going to do things that like literally don't really mean anything, and it's just triggering you because of whatever beliefs you held previously. Okay, so just be aware that triggers aren't bad. It's just it's a learning opportunity, and it's a moment for you to really face something that you fear, face something that doesn't feel good, and remind yourself who you're deciding to be. And through that reminding of yourself and reaffirming that you're going to find that you show up and you're able to continue to create the experience you want. Okay. All right. It's all a growth process, you guys. Be gentle with yourself, and really see that, if you're working on your beliefs and you're believing in the good of you and believing in the people around you, you're going to be able to create the results. So there's no urgency. Don't view things as backward progress. View it as feedback for you to reaffirm in yourself and how you identify yourself. And if you can do that, you're going to be successful. Okay. Alrighty. I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Thank you for all the people that are here on my channel. Thank you for all the comments, and I will see you all later. Bye.